Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have the Omega VRT330 model, or Omega Vert. Let's see, there has been a supply shortage, but I'm happy to announce that DiscountJuicers.com is now taking pre-orders for the Omega Vert juicer. So it's available right now on our website. We're only going to be selling them until our allotment has been sold out, and then we will stop taking any orders. So if you do place an order, you are guaranteed an Omega Vert juicer. Otherwise, they're not going to be in until probably mid-April. Alright, so one of the problems that people have been having with the Omega Vert juicer is that it makes a really pulpy juice, especially when you're juicing carrots. So actually, one of my customers wrote in and said, "Hey John, I found out that when I juice in the Omega Vert juicer, it makes very little pulp if I follow the certain procedure." And his procedure that he figured out was this. You put something into the juicer and you let it just totally juice and get expelled from the juicer before you add something else. If you notice, when I juice in the Omega Vert juicer, I'm pretty casual, and I'll look down there and I actually won't feed something else in until I see that it's actually disappeared from the feed chute. But at that point, it's still not all the way juiced. It's only all the way juiced as soon as all the pulp comes out of the pulp ejection side on the juicer. So what happens is there's that flap, and that little pulp ejection flap keeps the produce in the juicer to juice. And if you try to overload the juicer and put too much stuff in there, basically the pulp needs to go somewhere. And if the pulp's not coming out because it's backed up inside the juicer, it's going to be more in your juice. So it makes perfect sense to me. And when I juice, I never really got a really super pulpy juice, although it is pulpier than, maybe a centrifugal ejection juicer. But as I said in other videos, the centrifugal ejection juicers make the least amount of pulp in your juice. So, I know it's hard for us Americans, but we need to slow down when we're juicing with the Omega Vert juicer. Let things juice all the way, and, don't stick 2 carrots in at once. Stick 1 carrot in at one time and let it juice completely before adding anything else. And once again, I do like to rotate my produce, so, don't just put all carrots into the juicer, then all the apples, and then all the bok choy. You want to do a leaf of bok choy, let that run out, then a carrot, let that run out, then an apple, and then start over with the bok choy again. So, you want to rotate the produce. You're going to get a better, yield, and it's going to work a lot better when you do that. So let's go ahead and start juicing and show you what I mean by letting the produce come out. So we're going to turn the Omega Vert juicer on, and we're going to put the carrot in. So you can see the carrot pulp is coming out. So you can see the carrot pulp coming out, and it's still coming out. And it hasn't stopped coming out yet, so we're really not going to put anything else in until it almost slows to a snail's pace. So, it's still moving, but we don't want to wait here forever. So, I'm pretty sure that that's pretty good now. We're going to go ahead and put another carrot in there. So the carrot has now disappeared out of the feed chute, but let's see, it's still really coming out of the pulp ejection side of the juicer. So now it's slowed down, so now we can go ahead and add this bok choy in. We're going to push that down. And now, we need to let the juicer work at it. So let's see. So now we see, because as it went in, now it's being ground up inside the Omega Vert juicer. The pulp is slowly coming out. Looks like it's, pretty much worked through. We're going to go ahead and put 1 apple in there. Some things are pulpier than others. So, more pulp will come out of, say, when you put in a carrot than 1 leaf of bok choy, that's not very fibrous. You don't need to use this technique if, you don't mind the pulp. You could cram stuff through here, but, I always like to caution people to move a little bit slower. Take your time in life. Take time to smell the roses. So we're going to go ahead and dump another apple in there. Got another Bok Choy. Bok Choy is great to juice. It's a nice dark leafy green. Most of us don't eat enough leafy greens. I think I saw the other day on the news that, you know, only 27% of people in the United States eat their, you know, 3 servings of vegetables a day. And that's, you know, then there's 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit. So that's a total of 5 servings. So, you know, definitely when you're drinking fresh vegetable juice and fruit juice here, I'm using apples as my fruit and greens, you're getting your servings of fruits and vegetables every day, and it's easy and it tastes good too. How the auger works is it takes the produce in and then basically it makes the produce work down the auger into smaller and smaller and smaller space until it's really just the juice is squeezed out, and that's what's it's doing right now. And if you try to overload it, it's not going to be as efficient and it's not going to work quite as well. So you're going to go ahead and dump a carrot in there. You could really see that pulp coming out when we put the carrot in there. You know, carrots are really fibrous. The pulp is still coming out. We're taking our time, letting the pulp come out slowly. Pulp has pretty much stopped coming out. I'm going to go ahead and add in our next piece of Bok Choy. Now the Omega Vert juicer is what's called a single auger style juicer. This is a vertical single auger style juicer. And you know, the single auger style juicers were made popular with the horizontal single auger style juicer. You know, such as the original wheatgrass juicer. It was then basically, the design was then modified to you know, work with most fruits and vegetables. And then you know, it was the latest generation, it was turned into a vertical single auger. So the main advantage of the vertical single auger is that it works pretty much a lot faster than the horizontal single auger. It chunks off bigger pieces and pretty much juices faster. And I found that in most cases, you know, the Omega Vert juicer is more efficient at, especially when you're juicing something like carrots. Now, if you want to juice a lot of carrots, you know, specifically, the Omega Vert juicer might not be for you. I think the Vert juicer is an excellent juicer if you want to juice carrots and celery and cucumbers and even something like Bok Choy. You know, but making combination juices and, you know, also juicing fruits. It's one of the best juicers to juice fruits. Check my other videos on juicing fruits. I'm not a big fan of juicing fruits. I'd rather eat the fruits whole or blend them. But literally the pulp coming out. Now this pulp is really dry. I can't even press any juice out of it. It's just smearing pulp in my hand. Let's go ahead and juice the last leaf of Bok Choy. Bok Choy, for those who don't know, is a nice Asian green. This was actually grown in my garden. They're really delicious. I use it sometimes in place of celery, especially this time of year when the stalks are nice and thick and juicy. I love the base of the stalk, you know, more actually than I like the green leaf of the vegetable. So you could really hear the juicer grinding up the fibers and exploding the cell walls to make your fresh vegetable juice. I can't wait to drink it. Alright, so we have a couple more apples here. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and feed that in. And you can see more Bok Choy pulp coming out. Another apple. We have 2 carrots left, so let's go ahead and put those in there. And I really like how the Omega Vert juicer is literally self-feeding. Not many juicers literally will do that. So pulp is still coming out of the machine. We won't yet put this last carrot in. Alright, so this is the last carrot. I'm proud to say we're juicing in the Omega Vert juicer. We're just going to drop it in there. Whee! And watch it get sucked up into that juicer. Alright, so even after we put that last carrot in, you can see the juicer still working. Juice is still flowing out at a fairly good rate. So, you know, if you turn the juicer off now and went to clean out the machine, you're going to see a lot of excess unjuiced pulp inside the machine. So the best thing to do is after you're done juicing, you know, let it run a little bit longer until the juice really starts to stop flowing out of the machine. And if you look at the pulp side, basically until the pulp stops coming out of the machine, at that point you know that what's in there is pretty much done being juiced. And if you just turn it off right after you put the last piece in, it's not going to be as effective. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the Omega Vert juicer, and I'm going to grab my apple, carrot, and Bok Choy juice. It's really good. So this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.